Hi, I'm Suneera Madani, and I'm a mom of two, a daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who went from scaling an idea to $1 billion business. Yes, $1 billion business. Along the way, I learned that less than 2% of female founders ever hit 1 million in revenue, and I became obsessed on a mission to change that. I believe that there is so much gatekeeping in business knowledge, and that we as female entrepreneurs should be learning from other female founders and leaders who have broken the statistics. Since I never went to CEO school, I've had to learn it all the hard way, but you shouldn't have to, because we believe that you deserve to have it all. And honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the CEO School podcast. We are at the New York Stock Exchange. The energy is so real, and I probably kind of cried 9 times already today from every bit of emotion from just having my family here is just so special. Getting to meet the most amazing women, and then just being here with my team. Y'all, this stuff gets me really just jazzed and excited and emotional. And I don't know, I am emotional. I'm really, really pumped to be here. And we are here also in partnership with Momos, who's an incredible engaged community platform, and they're putting on an amazing summit here at the New York Stock Exchange. The conversation has been so uplifting. People ask me all the time, why I do all of this. It's always why do you do all of this? You don't need to do this. Why do you work so hard? That's the question. And it's it's hard to explain the energy. This is where my cup gets filled. When you are in a room with the most ambitious people, their energy is contagious. That just breeds rubs off on you, and it just carries me through whatever I'm tackling over the next several weeks. And then I get my hit of dopamine again when I'm here, and I'm okay, yes, I can go conquer whatever challenges my way because I get to hear from all of you, and these are the most amazing stories, and it just leaves me so fulfilled and just inspired every time. So why wouldn't I do this? I get to do this, and I just feel so privileged and so lucky that this has become part of my job and my identity, and I just feel really grateful. And none of this could be possible if it wasn't for all of you. Every single week tuning in, and literally now we get to do 2 shows a week because you want more, and it just means the world to me. And I'm doing my best every day to make sure that I deliver at my utmost best, bring the most fantastic guests. And honestly, it's so fun just being live here and doing it with the most crazy integration of all this stuff. So I just want to take a moment and just give a shout out to all of our CEO School listeners, especially everyone who's been there from day one, even for those that have just tuned in and this might be your first episode. This is such a special place. This community is contagious. You are in the right room because you are the company you keep, and you're in excellent company. And today I am with just the most excellent company today. I'm with Impana Srri. She is so dynamite. She is so young and successful and is the Chief Investment Officer at Koherent Inc. She manages a family office with, I'm going to ask her, I wouldn't say an unlimited supply of funding, but a large amount of funding. And she gets to invest in the coolest companies. She gets to source the companies. She gets to find the companies. She gets to do due diligence on the companies. She gets to merge companies. She gets to acquire companies. This is the coolest job to have in finance. I obviously am a finance major and am totally geeking out talking to Impana and the job that she gets to do. And you're just super successful, and I'm so excited to have you. Impana, welcome to CEO School.
Thank you very much for having me, Suneera. That was a fantastic introduction. I don't think I could have done that better than you.
No, well, your story is so incredible, and just what you've achieved so far. And I'm excited for all the women. We love having venture capitalists in the room, and especially when they are women venture capitalists. You are a unicorn, and I'm excited to meet a unicorn today. So Impana, tell me about how you got started in finance and, your background. How did this whole journey begin?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Being on today at this location, at this event, this is the only place I think I could share my story that makes sense. I was born in a small town in India that you probably never heard of called Mysore. I was born to a conservative family. And the day that I was born, my own grandparent told my father, "Great, she's a female. You don't need to invest as much in her education as the male." right? And that
I'm
way,
so sorry.
no, not at all. With that, the logic behind that was that, that way you can invest that in the male so that the money could stay within the family, when it won't go away when she's married off. And I know that pressure stayed on with my parents for years to come. And fortunately, my mom was the one who pushed for my education, and my dad agreed with her. And this was in my own home, and I thought maybe, outside the home it will be different. Even outside the home, as I was, doing my studies in different parts of Asia and everything, it was really when I was doing my undergraduate studies in computer science and engineering, a dear friend of mine came up to me and said, "Why are you studying so hard? That rank could go to me or someone else." And that really hit me really, really bad. I'm like, is that what my destiny going to be? So then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to change this. Maybe at home is different. Maybe it could be different outside of India. So I left India, came over to the US to do my master's at NYU. After I finished, I entered the world of corporate America in mergers and acquisitions. Honestly, I've worked on some of the biggest mergers in the history of mergers, from CBS Aetna to Disney Fox, Viacom CBS. I was doing great, but I was still trying to make my name in finance, and I was hearing, while not as prominent back in India, it was a boys' club through and through. Sure, she can do it now, but can she hang in the long term, right? That thought process was always there. And the line of thought was, throughout all these experience, what they were telling me is that she could not, she must not, and she will not, right? So that resistance, all of these resistance, made me push harder, be stronger, and test the limits or the boundaries of their limiting beliefs, not mine. So it's an honor to tell you today that I've recently graduated from Columbia Business School, and that I'm a chief investing officer at Koherent Inc., a family office that invented HDMI and also brought the K-pop band BTS over to the US.
That is, I have tears. I have goosebumps. I have chills. This entire room has chills right now. Impana, your story it's heroic. It really is heroic. And all the odds that you had to face, I don't think many of us understand, we do have to battle the boys club. That is what the show is about, right?
Yeah.
This is us coming together, finding ways, to do it as a tribe. And we know what's ahead, but we're going to get through it together. But even from what you said about, the cultural background and having, your grandparents, your grandparent, which I'm assuming is the grandfather, tell your father that, don't invest in your daughter, invest in the son. That is something that is very real for many parts of the world today.
Yeah.
And it is very real. And it is so unfortunate that is part of how the world, we're already destined to fail, right? We're already there. The odds are already stacked against us, but we're not even given a chance, even at birth, to live our right.
Yeah.
And that is not okay. And that's why it's so important that every one of us that has the opportunity to succeed, succeeds beyond at every measure, because we carry every one of her with us.
Yes.
And that's what you did. You did not let, and all the things have to go right. And when you look at, for so many people, where you are born, you can't change where you are born.
Yeah.
And you had parents that decided that they weren't going to let, whatever DNA, whatever, they were going to break that ancestry, that ancestral trauma of whatever, how those belief systems, to say that, no, we are going to invest in our daughter for education. And your mom stood up for that. And you are here today shaping the course for so many women to come before you or after you. And I do feel like we don't understand that level of, the privilege that we do have, especially being in America today. And I think that especially for immigrants and immigrant kids and those that are listening, I think that is a huge part of why like that immigrant, that pursuit is so real and so important. It's because there is a lot at stake before us, and the pressures are there. And for you, it was for yourself to succeed. And it's just incredible. And I just want to just give you like just a hug, and like just I know that the audience like feels that way of thank you for not letting that be your story, and not letting the class rank and being at the top, and then the boys club in school, and then the boys club in finance stop you from being here and now being chief investment officer and pretty much running your own venture arm. It's really incredible, Impana.
Thank you. I think I do have to make a funny anecdote or a comment there. The reason why I was able to push harder and see past all of this was through video games, actually.
Yeah.
Because, in video games, you always get a quest like, you must not go there. Do not go to that cave. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to that cave exactly because you told me not to. So that was always I'm like, you're just an NPC in my life, bro. Like, I don't care.
Do you actually play video games?
I do. I'm guilty.
That's awesome. And okay, I do have to get back to K-pop because I just like completely brushed over that. So you brought K-pop to America?
Yes, they were one of the primary partners that brought over K-pop to America. One of the founding partners, Sean Ko, he's a phenomenal leader, and he's building an amazing proprietary tech called Proof of Reception. His team partnered to bring the K-pop band BTS over to the US, and sometimes I get to sit in the recording studio with them. So yeah, I have to learn all the signs and symbols that they do, like the heart symbol and everything. This is a new world. This is so fun. And entertainment is something that's been near and dear to me from a very young age.
Yeah, you were telling me that. You were like, one of the things that we were talking about earlier before you came on was how much you love the intersection. This is literally, I quote Impana here, intersection between finance and entertainment. And I said, what intersection between finance and entertainment? Because I don't know of one.
Yeah. So I grew up in nearly 14 different parts of Asia. And one of the things that stayed with me was that if you play to the religion of the people, you're going to find some success.
Okay.
And if you look at the religion of America, especially, and modern day society, the religion is capitalism. Your gods are your celebrities, and your artifacts are the brands that you wear.
I mean, you are so wise. You are so wise. I want to follow the religion of Impana right now. So treat the religion of the people.
Yes.
Okay. So
play to the religion of the people.
And America's religion is capitalism.
Yeah.
I mean, we are currently right now also sitting on the New York Stock Exchange. Like we could not be at the Mecca, or the Vatican of America.
Exactly my point. So, as I mentioned, I was on MTV at a very young age, so I was able...
Wait, how though? What?
So I had a wish list, and I review it very occasionally. And during that time, my wish list was be on TV. And the only TV show that I could be on was that my dad allowed me to be on was this a teenage beauty pageant on MTV called Teen Diva. So I auditioned for it, got top 10, was on the TV show, did some gigs as a VJ later on. So that's how I got exposed to the world of creative side of entertainment, and that just stayed on. Even as I was in corporate America, I was like, I want to work on entertainment mergers. So I did Viacom CBS, Disney, Fox, Thomson Reuters divestiture. So yeah, I really have a 360-degree experience. And I'm also a strategic advisor to a Bollywood executive now. Her name is Rohini Iyer, and she brings over talent, advises celebrity businesses, does production, reputation management, everything. So I really, really have have like a full view of the entertainment world. So that's why I'm like, I understand that there's a side where like, we can leverage all these celebrity influences to mold the economy in the right way, because we live in an attention economy and we need to take advantage of it. And the best way to do is to work with them. And these celebrities want to build legacies, and have partnering with the right partners, such as myself, is a perfect way for them to start, and helping them do that in the right direction and in the right way.
So how do you partner with these celebrities? Like what's, how do you do it?
Yeah, as a couple of ways we can think of. We can have them be an advisor at certain funds. We can have them, we can have them invest in certain companies. We can partner them with like pre-IPO tech and CPG brands, especially, and make sure the valuation is better, like once they go IPO, and promote that in the right direction, right? Like some celebrities, I see they're launching drinks that like could harm, young teenagers. I'm not going to name names, but I'm like, why are you leveraging your influence to do this? Why can't we do it in the right way? Become advisors, identify right brands, work with founders to build a company, use your leverage and influence for the right reasons. And those are the 3 ways that I could think of right now.
That's super incredible that you're getting to do this. And now I still don't fully get the intersection between finance and entertainment, but it is true. It's about influence, right?
Yeah.
It's about leveraging the influence. And you're right. We as Americans are, when we are capitalistic, we are obsessed with fame. We are obsessed with famous people, celebrities.
Yeah.
Even what's, on social media is the way that our future generations are buying products. Like we're not, this is the way of the future. Why not leverage the people that are our heroes and that we look up to? And there is a huge disconnect, right, on how to do it. And you're solving that, that pain point of figuring out the how. Yeah. And hopefully celebrities get to do it in the right influence, and you want to be at the forefront of that.
Yeah. Yep. If they want to be an advisor, they want to build companies,
Okay, so we've got like a ton of like most incredible businesses that would love to leverage celebrity influencers as part of their brands or as advisors, and how can they get connected? What advice do you have for her?
The best way is to identify different celebrities who are aligned with your brand identity, and then there are some advisors, like even Pauline Brown, right? Like she has a fund and she has some celebrity advisors on her fund, right? Trying to identify these people, and the more they're out there in the field, identify the brand, identify the different financial vehicles that you can be a part of, and try to make those connections. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll see what I could make happen. I have access to a lot of A-list celebrities, both in Bollywood as well as Hollywood. Let's see what we can do. We can have you co-invest with them, have them invest in you. Reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Thank you for that, by the way. And you just put it out there, and you're gonna get bombarded. We will be linking Impana's socials on our show notes here. But I love, like, sometimes we think that things are out of reach, right? For us, as we almost like completely exclude it out, to say, oh, that could happen, but it won't happen for me. And you're just a perfect example. It's such a great reminder to say it is possible. It's absolutely possible. I would love to, we've got just a couple of minutes left. We will bring you back, Impana. I'd love to have a longer conversation, because you are currently every day, not just on the entertainment side, but you are investing actively in all sorts of companies, right? So, we have founders here that are looking to raise venture capital, that want to have investors like you support them. What are the things that you see that make a really great pitch, or things that don't? So I'd love to just kind of like spill some tea on some of the best pitches that you've gotten, and you're like, this is the style of company that I want to invest in. And then I also want to dig into what you won't, and some of like the biggest things that you see that are like, no, girl, let's not do that.
Yeah. Some of the company best pitches that I've seen is they know who they're pitching to. They know their investor who they're pitching to through and through, right? Like, for example, there are some CPG companies where I've seen that it's essentially a branding deck. Like, this is great for a customer, this is great for a consumer, but not for me. I'm sure I would buy it as a customer, but as an investor, I want to see the financials. I want to see like what your long-term growth strategy is. Tell me about the risk management. Who's your team? Talk to me about that, right? And even try to amend your pitch deck a little bit to each investor and speak to them. When you know that they're speaking to you one-on-one, that's when you're able to sell. And second, what I always say is like, people always think like, oh, I met with this VC, I have this introduction, this is it, that's it, I'm done. This is a long-term game. This is not a quick 5-minute coffee chat. Keep them posted, keep them updated. I want to see updated. If not this round, maybe the next round. I want to see what you're up to, right? And those are the types of founders that are persistent, that are able to stay on. That's what we want to see. The founder, especially in the early stages, are they persistent? Are they building their brand? Are they pivoting, right? Like if one direction doesn't work, tell us how you did it, why you did it, right? Because there's such an emphasis on founders, especially in early stage. And in terms of pitches that I'm not really a fan of, it's just like pitches that are just jumping on trends. The number of AI pitches that I've seen, I would have my own fund at this point, right?
By the way, I just launched a fintech with AI, by the way.
No, I trust you. You are
no, it's
a
through generative AI, but we laugh about that now. Every company is an AI company.
Yeah, it's like when I dig deeper, like what's the data set it's trained on? I'm like, it's the same thing that everyone's trained on. What's the legality of it? Like, have you thought about? They do not think beyond. Tell me what the vision beyond your vision is. That's what I want to know as an investor. And that's when they have not thought about it. I'm like, how do I trust you? You yourself don't know. Yeah.
That's such good advice. I mean, I will tell you, as a founder and an investor myself, I fully agree with you when you're talking about the brand pitches. You have to ensure you got to know your numbers. Like that is like clean sheets, and the growth path has to be there. One of the things that always frustrates me the most is when you see like in year 5, we're going to do like bajillion dollars. And I'm like, okay, anyone can make a spreadsheet look the way that they want to. What is your supporting proof of how you're actually going to market? And where does that put, let's put more thought process than just like the drawn out Excel sheet that happens. And then what you said in particular about tailoring the presentation. I think authenticity in relationships is just so important in everything. And you don't want to be sold to. Like you want to have a real connection with, and most of the investors that have ever done business with us, it was a real relationship. It didn't happen over the first pitch and the first thing. It was long periods of time, and we stayed in touch, and then it was later stage. And so we're building connections with investors from such an early stage. And we actually identified, we're like, here's who we want to do business with, and how do we actually go build relationships with those investors? What advice do you have for people who want to, like, I know so many women, they're like, yes, I'm going to deliver the best presentation, but how do they find the, investors? What rooms are you in today that you're meeting founders at?
Yeah. Given my the firm that I work at, it's a family office. It's a very like close-knit group, and everyone knows everyone, and it's really, really hard to get in. And what I say with like, especially when dealing with like high net worth people, if you want to build connections with family offices, they're always used to someone wanting more from them. Try to see if you can offer something to them.
Doesn't that go to say for any relationship, right? Like for anything, like who wants to always be taking? Yeah. We need to find ways to add value to other people, and then that they will add value back.
Yeah. Like maybe your company might not be a fit. Maybe other founders that could be a fit, right? Try to add value first and foremost. And the minute that they see the value, like, okay, this is not a person who's trying to get something from me. Even the family office, even though our primary goal is like we want to invest, we always feel like, oh my God, they want so much from us. But like, tell us what value. We want to be a partner to you, not just like just push you, but we want to partner with you, and we want to be able to leverage those connections.
That's solid advice. And that goes beyond whether you're fundraising or you're not. This goes with any relationship that you want to have. It's really about adding value. Impana, your story is super incredible. We will have you back because I definitely want to talk about all things that you're working on currently, even with Gold House and all the boards that you serve and just what you're doing for the entrepreneurial community. I feel like you are such a beacon of hope for like young people. So I really appreciate you sharing your story today. I feel inspired today by your story. I got obviously very emotional earlier on in the episode. But I really do feel it is important for us as women. No one's going to advocate for us. That's also the challenge in the world today, right? Like we can sit here and say, poor us, right? And that's not what this is about. That's not what this community is about. That's not what the show is about. It's really about saying, how can we leverage the best connections, our relationships, support each other, and really advocate for growth for all, because it is true when one of us rises, we all rise together. And Imp and I just love your viewpoints on life. You're so wise. I cannot wait to go to your religion, honestly, Impana. So whatever that is, sign me up. Sorry, Jay Shetty. I'm totally switching over to Impana Srri. Watch out. We'll be linking everything in the show notes. And Impana, you promise you're going to come back?
I promise.
All right. We'll have her back. Y'all stalk her online. She did say that she's going to take your pitches. So we will be linking that. And I want to hear back to see who pitched you and, how it went. Is there a style of investment, just before we close out, that you like, the target style of investment?
Yes. We do Series A and above, tech focus, B2B SaaS, need to have $10 million in revenue till date.
Okay, it sounds like I'm going to be pitching to you here shortly. That's super incredible. Impana, thank you so much for your time today. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, we are here at the New York Stock Exchange. We're super excited. We're in partnership here with Super Momos, and everyone's here. The summit's going on in the background. The market is trading downstairs. It's absolutely crazy. If you're loving today's energy, screenshot this episode, share it on social, leave us a review. That is how we're growing the show. We're literally about to hit, we probably at this point when this episode airs, are going to be past 2 million downloads, and it is rising. We are currently right now trending at, last week I checked, and the date right now, we're in March. And so last week we were in 90. We were ranked in 90 in the entrepreneur category. So we're in the top 100, you guys. We did it together. We want to rise to the top as a community. And I'm just so grateful for all of you listening along. Screenshot, share, tag us both. We're both on social, and we'll see you guys next week at CEO School. Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning into today's show. If you loved it, leave us a review. We are so proud to bring you authentic conversations, game changer expert guests, and valuable content on and offline. The best compliment you can give us is by screenshotting today's show and tagging us on Instagram at CEO School and at Suneera Madani. We are obsessed with swag, so don't be surprised if we want to send you some. Thanks for tuning into class today, and remember, nothing bad happens when women make more money.